So outside of driving traffic through search engines, which is where most people start, right? Most people, you go on the internet, you're looking for something, you go to a search engine, you type in your keyword, you get to where you want to go. The second part is leveraging other portals that have a wealth or an array of information to drive traffic to your website. Now, one of those portals that I think that we've had a lot of success with, actually, with our clients, is leveraging Craigslist to drive traffic off of Craigslist to your Acceleragent website. Now, Craigslist is a wealthy mess of real estate listings. Did you get a substantial amount of traffic? It's definitely relevant. But most of the people that go to Craigslist go there because they don't know any better. It's a mess, right? No, not many filters. It's getting better, though. But not many filters. You can't really narrow things down quite well. So you do get a lot of buyers that are starting the process. You do get some sellers that are looking for information, but predominantly buyers. And which is why we did develop our Accelerad tool. It's our semi-automatic posting tool for Craigslist. It's included in all Property Minder websites. So if you have a Property Minder website, you have this Accelerad tool on your website. You have the ability to post your listing on Craigslist a variety of ways. Now, here's an example, in my opinion, of what not to do on Craigslist. Now, don't get me wrong, folks. This is a beautiful ad, right? If I'm a seller of this condo and my real estate agent created this lovely ad, I'd be impressed. He's got all the multiple pictures. He's got everything I want to know about my lovely condo in San Francisco on Van Ness Avenue. It's all here, right? But if I am a real estate agent looking to post an ad on Craigslist, looking for phone calls or looking for clients, is this ad really the most effective way for me to achieve that goal? Right? Now, we all know as experienced real estate agent, what sells the house is the price and the terms, right? That's the number one tool that we have as a listing agent. It doesn't matter how many beautiful pictures I put on Craigslist. If my house is overpriced, no one's going to buy it. Okay? And if I only put one picture on Craigslist and my house is aggressively priced, chances are it's going to get sold. But back to the point here of advertising on Craigslist, if I'm going through and I click on this link, and for some reason I'm a big fan of Starbucks, pizza's not really my favorite coffee house. I don't want to live in a complex that has pizza at the bottom. I want to live in one that has a Starbucks at the bottom. I'm clicking off of this link and I'm going on to the next ad. If I don't like this pool, I'm out to the next ad. If I don't want to live in a high-rise condo, I'm out. I'm off to the next ad. There's nothing in this ad that would compel me to interact with the real estate agent on this ad. Unless I specifically want to buy this condo, or I want more information about this condo, there'll be very little reason for me to engage the agent that's created the ad. And in fact, the ad does such a great job of giving me all the information I could ever want about this place. Heck, the only reason I'd call this guy is to make an offer. Is that going to generate what I, as the advertiser, I, as the real estate agent, is that going to give me what I'm looking for? Conversely, our technique is a little bit different. I don't want to give everything away in my Craigslist ad, because when I make an ad on Craigslist, the one thing that I want to do, the number one thing that I want to do, is get these people off of Craigslist. I want them to come to my website and look at properties on my site, because I'm the point of reference for all listings that are viewed on my website. I want to drive traffic to my website so then I can get the person's contact information so that I can follow up with them later to sell them a house. In this ad, well, heck, I might not like the color of this house. I may not want to live on a hill in San Francisco. But oh, guess what? I can see many more active listings. I can click here. Oh, I can search the MLS. I can click here. If I do like this property and I want to see more pictures, I click here. Anyway, anywhere I click here is going to go back to my website where I have a chance to get their information. If you want a little prettier ad, here's another example. You can still give away a good amount of information about the property, make your seller happy, make sure they know you're doing a great job in marketing their listing. But then you also want to make sure that you give people a great reason to get the heck off of Craigslist and onto your website, which is the whole premise of our Accelerad feature. And we make it easy for you to be able to post your listing, post your posting on Craigslist straight from your website, post it several times a day by changing the way the listing looks quickly and easily. But also the goal is to get traffic off of Craigslist and onto your site so you have a chance to get their information. So in your Realtor Toolkit, on your Inventory Manager, any listing that is actually your listing will have a link to it called Post to Craigslist. You click that button, follow the instructions. You can post your listing on Craigslist. It should take you less than 30 seconds. The first time you do it, it'll take you more than 30 seconds because you're trying to figure it out a little bit. But once you get used to it, it should take you no more than 30 seconds to post it out on Craigslist. Time effective, very quick and easy. Now, if you're sitting there and you're maybe new, you don't have any listings, but you still want to take advantage of the traffic that can be generated from Craigslist, you can. Get permission from one of your fellow agents that have listings. Let them know that you'd like to advertise their listing on Craigslist for them. Go to your website, click the Add New Listing Manually button here. You have to do it this way. Don't load it with an MLS number, because when you load it with an MLS number, like this lovely house I sold on Norland, the system knows it's not my listing. So I don't have the opportunity to make that Craigslist posting. But the house on Suncrest was my listing, so I have that ability. If you add the new listing manually, it gives you the link to post to Craigslist, whether it's your listing or not. So you want to input some information about the property on the Add New Listings manually, and then you'd be able to post that listing to Craigslist. But again, folks, be sure to get the permission of the listing agent to be able to do that. Okay? So this is what it looks like when you post to Craigslist. You have your button, you have your page here. You want to change your posting title. All right, so you want to have something a little snazzier than the address of the property. That's one of the things you want to customize when you're in there. And then the links. You have your lead-in sentences, and then the page it links to on your website. So you can link things straight to your Property Minder search, straight to the map. Let's say this house is a house in North San Jose in 95132. You say, hey, all listings in 95132, and create a custom IDX search and have a link straight to that. So people come straight off Craigslist, straight into your search platform. Because remember, folks, they're there to look at property listings. They don't care about you or anything you do. They want property listings. They want property listings with pictures. They want property listings with virtual tours. You provide that on your website. So you want to fulfill that desire as fast as possible, so that when people come to your site, they say, oh, okay, cool, this is a great way I can actually draw a circle around, or draw a polygon around my neighborhood where I want to live. And it'll just give me that. And then I can register and get email notifications, blah, 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 so forth and so on. We'll talk about more about generating leads next week. But that's what we do. That's the strategy. Okay? Now, aside from leveraging Craigslist and other portals and search engines to drive traffic to your website, there's another way to drive traffic to your website, and it's kind of been catching on more recently, last couple of years, and that's using social networking. And today we're going to talk about two biggest facets of social networking: blogging and Facebook. Now, blogging, a lot of you probably heard the term blogging. I've heard the term blogging. I still don't blog as consistently as I should, but it is a great way for people to get insight into you. Okay, this might not be the best way to get complete strangers to do business with you, but by leveraging a blog, it's a great way to earn referrals, and it's a great way when people are referred to you that they can go to a place to find out about you and about your views and how you approach your business in a very private and a very non-confrontational way. Obviously, if they're in a dialogue with you, you're in an appointment, you're going to sell them. But think of a blog as an ability to sell someone your services without them being in front of you. Okay, it's a collection of your stories or articles that you've written and your views on the real estate market in your area. Kind of a business diary that you want everyone to see. So if you were good about keeping a diary when you were in high school, that skill is going to directly benefit you and help you if you're going to start blogging to drive traffic or to incorporate that into your business. So some things you can talk about while blogging is to possibly summarize your day. Talk about the things you did during your day as a real estate professional. Talk about some of the properties you may have previewed. You may have previewed a home that was just disgusting, and there's no way that person is ever going to sell that house in the condition that it's in. And you might want to share that and say, hey, I previewed a house today. The beds weren't made. There was a bunch of cereal on the counters, and there's a pile of dishes in the sink. And although the house may have looked beautiful, my clients were so turned off that there's no way in heck they'd write an offer on this property. Some commentary, things of that nature, right? To kind of share some stories about your day, real estate-related articles. The newspapers love to print the bad news about the real estate in your market. I know my newspaper does. But it's a great way to share that article and then add your commentary, what you think, if the article was on or if the article was off, so forth and so on. Now, when you blog now, we do offer the ability to link your blog to your Property Minder website. You definitely want to do that. And you definitely want to have, in terms of staying in the context of driving traffic to your website, while you're blogging, you want to make sure that you do provide ways for people to come off your blog and into your website so that you can start working with them, so you can start generating a lead, so forth and so on. So whenever you're blogging, you definitely want to make sure your URL or your main website address is on your signature or somewhere in the blog. But also, you want to make sure you have links in your posts to relevant content on your website. So if you're talking about a listing in your blog, you can have a link to that listing on your website, whether it's your listing or not. Okay? If you're talking about real estate in San Jose, well, behind that real estate in San Jose, if someone clicks on that, there could be a link straight to your property search that shows all the active listings in San Jose. You have the ability to do that with your Xcelerate website. The technicalities of which are beyond the scope, unfortunately, of our discussion here, but we do have online tutorials in your toolkit. We do have an excellent customer support department that'll help you walk through and achieve the goals of what you'd like to do, whether it's link your blog to your website or how to create those hyperlinks to go from your blog directly into specific pages on your site. Because when we're driving traffic online, maybe something I forgot to mention, a good thing I remembered before we're done here today, when we're driving traffic online, you don't necessarily have to drive traffic to the front page of your website. You can drive the traffic to any page on your website you want to. So if you're doing a sold in 15-day guarantee and you're marketing that on your pay-per-click, you can drive people to the front page of your site, or you can drive people directly into a lead capture page on your site, directly relating to the ad that you placed. Some of the best results I've ever had with pay-per-click, I drove traffic not to the front page of my website, I drove traffic straight into the MLS search, because that's what people wanted to see, and that's what I advertised they'd be able to see on the ad. View all listings in Santa Clara County with pictures and a virtual tour. You click here, that's what you get. Okay? They don't want to go see the front page of my site. They don't care about my blog at this point. They don't care about my lovely picture or how many homes I've sold. They only care about what's for sale. That's what they want. So we want to give that to them as fast as possible. Once we give that to them as fast as possible, satisfies their needs, satisfies their curiosity, and then we have other things on there to be able to capture their information. So we'll definitely talk about that next week. Be sure to register for that webinar.